Are there different types of trauma, such as hearing about other people's trauma or experiencing it yourself?
So that's an excellent question. And so I'm going to sort of try to parse it out a little bit. There is an idea of secondary trauma. And unfortunately nowadays, because of social media and television and videos, this is becoming more of a problem. We saw it a little bit after 9/11, for those of you old enough to remember who were alive during 9/11, when they kept replaying the images of the towers. And there was this experience of people becoming traumatized just watching the video of the towers. It's a concern amongst mental health providers of developing secondary trauma when they listen to people go discuss the actual trauma that they had. So there is definitely a well-described phenomena of secondary trauma where you can develop a response to trauma that you did not experience yourself. You experience it vicariously by listening to somebody else or by watching videos, etc. And I think that's important because unfortunately, no matter how much you think you know about what your children are watching, trust me, they're seeing stuff that you don't realize. And that's going to be an important conversation. And perhaps I think one of the questions we'll get to it is making sure you know what your children are seeing, what they're hearing, and how they're experiencing that. And that's really, really important. In addition to secondary trauma, watching harm come to a loved one or somebody that you're close to and witnessing it in real time can also be experienced as a trauma. Again, the brain sees that as danger, maybe not to you, but to your person, right? A loved one is part of your holistic life. Watching something bad or dangerous or scary, fill in the blank, to your loved one, watching a loved one die is a trauma, right? Because your brain sees it as an attack of some sorts on your personhood, on your wholeness. Just because you go through a trauma doesn't mean that you will necessarily develop symptoms long-term. And I think that's also really important because there's a rush to pathologize everything. We want to help, we want to cure, we want to treat, we want to support, which is all amazing and important. But we also need to understand that the majority of people who are exposed to trauma do not have long-term symptoms. Even if they have acute symptoms, they still most likely will not go on to have long-term symptoms. So are a lot of people all over the world right now within the Jewish community, have they experienced trauma? 100%, especially if they've been watching the videos. And while it is so critical to be witnesses and to have firsthand testimony for the historical record, the downside is in today's day and age when people have access to all of this online, children, in particular children, not that it's not hard for adults to watch it, but children whose minds are still developing are being exposed to horrors that no human being should ever be seeing. So the impact on them is concerning. We don't know yet how it's going to long-term impact them, but they certainly are experiencing some form of trauma by watching these videos over and over again that are horrible.